In today's video, how just living in Europe made me healthy.
We are Greg and Lisa, an American couple living abroad in Spain. If you are curious about the crazy, funny, and surprising differences between the US and Europe, you came to the right place. Hey, and we are on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so feel free to hit the subscribe button and, be a part of the ride. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. This is David in Portugal. And we will include a link in the description so you can go and support him if you wish. All right.
Hopefully this gives us some advice too on how to get healthy.
Let's hope so.
Living in Europe helped me get into better shape. The results may surprise you. I'm not proud to show this photo, but like many Americans during the pandemic,
I mean, that kind of, I don't want to tell my business, but that could look like me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I ate all of my favorite comfort foods and enjoyed many nooner beers, which means having a beer at noon. So about 8 months ago, I made a video about how on average, Americans are much more obese than Europeans. And I vowed in that video to eat a primarily healthy vegan diet, quit drinking beer, and exercise as
Ooh, vegan.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hard out here to eat. Go vegan.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But he's in Portugal, maybe.
He's in Portugal, so it was probably hard.
Yeah. Much as I could. And then I would show you guys the results in 6 months. But I have to be honest, when I arrived to Europe, I didn't stick to any of these things. I drank copious amounts of wine and beer and ate all of the delicacies in the different countries that I had visited. I wasn't just gonna pass up on the pain au chocolat in Paris or the duck and dumplings in Prague.
Oh my God.
Crazy? I mean, could you blame me? In Europe, 15% of Europeans are obese, whereas in the United States, 36% of Americans are obese. That is a massive number difference. Is it because the food in Europe is much more high quality and doesn't have things like additive fillers, GMOs, and
I don't know, what do you think? I mean,
I think it's a combination of all of that, but I think it's, yes, they don't have those GMOs, those fillers, poisons, for the most part. And it's also how they eat.
They don't
in smaller portions. And at least here in Spain, it's more of a tapas tradition where it's like small meals.
Yeah.
Like,
they seem to be more active too.
They're more active.
And chemicals. Is it contributed to the amount of coffee and cigarettes Europeans consume? Is it attributed to the amount of walking that Europeans do that Americans don't? Turns out it's a combination of all of these. The United States food industry is more about quantity than quality. They add many preservatives and fillers to make it cheaper and last longer. I had a friend from the United States that had Crohn's disease, and when he ate bread in the United States, he had massive medical issues. But when he came to Europe, he could eat as much gluten and bread as he wanted to.
I've heard this so many times that people who have a wheat intolerance or gluten intolerance, can eat it freely here. Maybe it's, I don't know, there's an enzyme or something that is maybe in the it's probably how they process it.
Probably.
Or the soil itself.
Yeah.
So it's amazing.
What's the deal with that?
It was important for me to know my family history, and honestly, I didn't know that much. So I collaborated with MyHeritage, and they helped me build a family tree. Wow, so I'm inputting everyone from my family tree, and now I'm gonna add a picture of myself. So this is my entire family tree here. You can search over 19 billion historical documents on MyHeritage to find records of your family members. There is this really cool feature called Instant
If you guys want this, go to his original video. If you guys want this, go to his original video and click on this will be on his original video.
When you add in family members, and it allows you to add an entire branch of your tree with just the click of a button. I discovered a bunch of names and relatives that I had no idea existed. Mom, can you believe that I found a bunch of Grandpa's cousins on here?
Oh, wow, that is so cool.
They also have this really cool feature where you can upload black and white photos like I'm doing of my grandfather here, and you can repair them and colorize, enhance them, and even animate the photo. Here I just...
That's weird.
I've seen those. I've seen people do that and they start to cry because it's just so realistic. And yeah.
I could see that.
Found city records of my grandma that I've never met before getting a replacement for her social security card back in 1951, which includes her mother and father's names, which I didn't know. Super cool. Definitely wouldn't have known any of this if I didn't do this, and I'm glad I did. Sign up for a free 14-day trial to enjoy all of MyHeritage's amazing features. If you decide to continue your subscription, you will get a 50% discount. There is a link in the description below and the first pinned comment.
The fact that there are massive aisles of cereals that are just made up of corn and sugar absolutely baffles me. There was a point in time where the marketing in the United States said that cereals were a healthy breakfast. Now, in more recent times,
Oh yeah, we grew up believing that cereal was the healthy breakfast to go, Cheerios with the heart healthy, cholesterol, whatever.
That's true. Is he saying it's not?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably not. It's
probably
corn
not.
and
I know.
Yeah.
Grocery stores showing up all over the United States. But it costs a premium to shop at places like Whole Foods or Erewhon, and you pretty much have...
We call Whole Foods whole paychecks. Because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
To be rich to be super healthy in the United States. Whereas Europe has been doing this kind of food forever. And even Mexico has been doing farm to table forever. And I also think it is the culture as well, where people in the United States choose the easier, faster option. It's such a fast-paced life in the United States that sometimes it's easier just to go through a drive-through. Now, there are fast food drive-thrus in Europe, but most people choose different, healthier options and eat fast food in moderation. And the fast food in Europe is much smaller portioned than the ones in the United States.
And has healthier options.
Yeah. The fast foods? Yeah.
Like the McDonald's out here, I think it has like grapes and apples and salads. Yogurt. Yeah.
But there's no doubt that when I'm in Europe, I walk so much more than I do in the United States. And I think this is by design. During the automotive boom in the early 20th century, many deals were done to invest heavily into highways instead of trains. And that's how America became such a car-centric culture. And I do think this contributes to Europeans walking a lot more on average than Americans. So after living in Europe for a little over a year, how did it affect me personally? Now, it's important to highlight that I live in Southern Europe, Portugal to be exact.
Okay.
It is very sunny here and easy to get outside and easy to take walks and hikes and bike rides and go surfing than it is in some other European countries. And for some magical reason, I have no idea how, my body has gone through a transformation. Without really keeping track of my weight or really paying any attention, one day I decided to take a photo in a dressing room and see how it compared with an earlier photo of me. And the results were shocking.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. He looks good.
He didn't work out? Like, he has definition on his shoulders, on his chest.
Yeah.
What the heck?
And what was most interesting is when I went to the doctor. Now, before I had left the United States, I had taken a blood test that showed that my cholesterol levels were elevated. But fast forward 8 months into living in Europe, and I took another blood test, and my cholesterols had lowered. And not even lowered to normal, but lowered to optimal. So what was it exactly that made me so much more healthy? Was it the real food that didn't contain all of these additives, GMOs, and chemicals?
You remember that happened to me? When we came here the first time, and then we went home and continued to eat the way that we were eating here. And then we checked, and my cholesterol levels went down. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you forgot, didn't you?
I did forget.
Yeah.
Was it that I was living a less stressful life and living in a more slow-paced environment where my cortisol levels weren't so high? Was it that I was walking and moving a lot more than I was in the United States? It could be all of these
which lowers your cholesterol, cortisol.
Right.
Walking naturally lowers it.
Factors. But one thing I do know for sure is I'm not mad about it. Now, I'm not claiming that if you move to Europe, you will magically lose all of this weight and be super healthy. But for some strange reason, this has been the case for me. And I kind of don't even know how it happened. But if you want to see more content about living in Europe and Portugal.
Well, that was interesting. What do you think?
I think, it probably all depends on where you go here in Europe because, like he said, you do have to get out and walk around.
Yeah.
And, I feel like when we came to visit, I did lose weight when we first came to visit and we were here for 3 months. Going home. I didn't even notice it because we were eating all kinds, but we were walking all kinds.
Right.
And we were eating tapa style, a lot.
Yeah.
And sharing our foods.
Eating smaller
all the time.
portions.
Yeah. And so I had lost 10 pounds when we went home.
Right.
And then now it just doesn't feel like I have, but we haven't been walking as much.
Right.
And we've just been like living our life.
Right. Not on vacation.
Not on vacation. And so living our lives, we do walk. We walk to the grocery store. We walk to.
But I think the first time we were here, it was like every day. It was like, we got to do something. Like we've never seen this before. But now it's just like, it's just a regular day. So we can go 2 or 3 days without really going out. We might go out for like 10 minutes or something like that.
I mean, we've been trying to go out a lot more.
Yeah.
Like walking around. It still will take a little bit of effort, but I know like the aches and pains have been going away. And I do contribute that to like we're detoxing from some of the toxins that we had in our food. Yeah.
So let's check out some of the comments here. So I feel much healthier, both physically and mentally in Portugal than I did in Canada, despite of the stress and starting in a new place at the age of 47 in a place where I don't even have a single friend. From my sinus to chronic insomnia to my eternal depression, everything seems to have improved here.
Yeah, you forget about mental health.
Yeah,
and so our mental health has gotten a lot better. Our patience level has gotten
that's true.
A lot better.
Stress level.
Mm-hmm.
I am from Poland and I am just back from U.S. Been there for 7 weeks in Washington D.C. Being there just for a few weeks, I didn't have a car. Oh my God, how much walking I had there. Distance between blocks and to nearest grocery store were double that in Warsaw. I walked a lot. My husband and I have had the exact same experiences. Every time we spend time in Europe, we eat everything we want. We eat everything we want and still lose weight. I think the walking is a big part of it.
Right.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Anything else?
No.
All right. That was a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Catch you on the next one.
Bye.